Hi, this is Stacy from Stacy Rabbit Jewelry and the Jessie James Creative Team. I'm here today to show you how to make some fun Christmas in July earrings. To make these earrings, you're going to need 2 resin roses, these green patina metal rose charms, and last but not least, the geometric triangle earring beadable findings in gold, and of course a handful of size 6 seed beads. The first thing that we'll do is cut about a 2.5 inch piece of 24 gauge artistic wire or any other craft wire. You can also use 26 gauge wire. We're going to lay the wire across the element right in the middle of the triangle, and we're going to wrap a couple of times. So I've got about 3 wraps on there. You can tell they're a little bit messy. So you are going to go and take your chain nose pliers and just get these lined up. Just like that. I'm just working this little kink out of my wire that I put in here so it will lay flat. If it doesn't want to go with your hand, you can go over it with a nylon jaw pliers. So I'm going to pick up this rose and put it on here, and I am going to bring it across and wrap about 3 times on the other side. I'm going to do the same thing. You're going to come in and just neaten up your coils. And you're going to take both of your wires to the back and just trim them off. And then you can come in with either a chain nose or bent chain nose pliers and just flatten that down till it's smooth. And you will go and do the same thing on this other side. So come in, trim the wire. The little back piece is kind of needed to be snugged up a little. Then I am just gonna kind of flatten that down on the back. And you'll see that my rose is still moving a little bit. And I still think there's a little gap here. So you can just continue to kind of neaten this up. One of the things that you can do is I found that kind of pressing, you can kind of press that rose into position so it stays just like that. So I was just pressing it to kind of get it to line up where I wanted to. Decorate the bottom of our earring. So I have about 5 inches this time of 24 gauge craft wire. 26 works great as well. And I am going to pick up my design and leave about maybe a 1/2 inch tail and start at one edge and wrap around the frame. So I have got 3 wraps on my frame. And again, I am gonna snug those close together and just move my whole little coil here over to the edge. I am gonna pick up one of my size 6 seed beads and just thread that onto the wire, and then just hold that in place and wrap around my wire. I'm going to go around once, twice, And then if there's any gaps, you can do the same trick, which is just come in and tighten them up. I'm going to come back and do exactly the same thing with another seed bead. Apparently, I'm the only one that decides it's a good idea to try and do a YouTube video during a thunderstorm. But nonetheless, hopefully you can still hear me. So again, put the bead on, wrap twice, and then come up. Again, I am going to squinch this together here. And what I'm going to do next is make a little bit of a loop to put our charm on. So I think I'm actually going to attach that. I'm thinking on the fly here with a little bit of a jump ring to give it a little bit more distance. So to make a little bit of a loop to attach it, I am going to come in with my round nose pliers and just fold that over, just like that. And then pull this through gently without pulling too hard to ruin your loop. And then just do 1, 2. And again, you can move those back over just like this. You should have something that looks like this. So 2 loops, 2 wraps around the frame, a loop, and then 2 more wraps around the frame. And then once you've done that, you're going to add on another bead and continue just as you had before, which is wrap once for your bead, then wrap 2 more times, add another bead, and this time you're going to wrap 2 or 3 times, ending on the back, just like this. And then if you need to neaten up any of your wrapping, you can just come in and get those a little closer together with your chain nose pliers. And then what I'm going to do is exactly what we did before, which is you decide which is the front and the back. I want this to be the front. We can fix this in a moment. Again, we can get it to stay in position. But I'm going to just cut these off in the back. So trim both pieces on the back side. And exactly the same thing. Make sure your wire is flattened down against your frame. And this is what you should end up with when you're done. So the next thing that we're going to do is attach our charm on. And I'm going to use a jump ring. The reason I'm going to do that is just to let it hang a little bit more away from the earring frame and stand out a little more. So I have a 6mm jump ring that I opened using 2 chain nose pliers and am just twisting it. I am going to just thread on my charm. Make sure that's the side I want as the front. It is. So I'm going to just thread that through the little loop that I made. And using my 2 chain nose pliers, I am just going to twist that closed. Sometimes I just do that to work harden it a little bit. And that is what it looks like. And so I am going to come in here and I am going to just work to get my rose sitting how I want it. And that is what I've got. So you just repeat that same exact process to make your second earring. Thank you for joining me to make these fun Christmas in July earrings using Jessie James beads.